Well, hey there folks, and welcome back once again to the Hop House. It's Eddie here, and thank you very much for joining us once again for another beer review. If you just found us on YouTube, as I always say at the beginning of every video, please like, share, subscribe to this channel. It's the Hop House. We like hoppy beer, we like good house music. We're on the beer side now, and we're doing another beer review. So, doing a couple today, and I'm sort of getting through the end of my, I know it's taken some time, but I've done other beers and whatnot. My Ossett Brewery Christmas beer box that I won in a giveaway through Facebook. It was 12 Beers of Christmas, which is basically their core range. But they also have some microbreweries as well, some other breweries that they own. And the last beer we just did was the Rat Brewery White Rat. If you ever see it, have a pint of it, obviously when pubs reopen. If you live in West Yorkshire, go on their website, Ossett Brewery, Google them. They do this stuff in mini kegs, 5 litre mini kegs, and cans as well. I can't recommend it enough. Okay, so the next beer we're going to do is actually again from another one of their microbreweries. It's not a beer, funnily enough, from that 12 box. So it's not part of their core range, but it's from their side project, which have now sort of gone out on its own. And that is Salt Beer Factory. So the story behind Salt Beer Factory is that Ossett Brewery have a chain of pubs, bars. They've got one in Leeds, one in York, one in Wakefield, and they had one in Saltaire called The Hop. And the idea behind it was real ales, cask beer, real ales, some craft beer as well as it was sort of coming in, but sort of live music, maybe a DJ or whatever, a function room upstairs for the one in Wakefield anyway. And they had the Saltaire site, Saltaire in West Yorkshire, was just outside of Bradford. It had a little brewery in the back, so they started to make hop forward beers, and they sort of created their own little identity, and they renamed it Salt Beer Factory. They got rid of the hop at that site, and it made it a big venue, tap room, brewery on site, able to do events and things there as well. And that's kind of how Salt Beer Factory came about. Now since then, Salt Beer Factory have really been in positive news in terms of beer reviewers, craft beer scene. They really like down south actually, down in London. They're saying wonderful things about Salt Beer Factory. They've also now conquered the supermarkets as well. Now, say what you like, whether or not you agree with craft beers going into supermarkets. I think it's a wonderful thing. The reason being is where I live in Telford, I can think of one place that's you class as a bottle shop. But it does tend to sell about three or four local brewery beers, and that's about it. And then it sells some sort of artisan craft gins and some wine and stuff. So it's not really a bottle shop where you'd find all these really high-end quality craft beers that can be £6-7 a pop for one can of one bottle. So for me, craft beer's gone into supermarkets. I'm all for it. I really am. It's giving it to the people, letting people that maybe are on a bit more of a budget that can't afford to spend £6 or so on a can to maybe half that or a third of it, and you get some decent beer. Simple. Okay, so the beer I'm reviewing today, I picked it up not long ago at Tesco as part of a 4-pack. I couldn't get it individually. It's a 330ml can. It's usually part of their 4 for £6, but they only had it in 4 packs remaining. So I think they might be discontinuing it in Tesco. They didn't have any more on the shelf, so whether or not they just don't have any stock in, I don't know, but it might be discontinued. There's probably other beer reviewers out there that's reviewed this way longer before me, but I've not been going that long. So this is the introduction to Salt Beer Factory, I guess, on the channel, and it is their Jute Session IPA. It's coming in at 4.2% in a 330ml can. It says juicy and hazy. It's a craft brewery, right? So this is the rat beer I just had, the White Rat, was very clear, very see-through. It had finings run through it. It had been filtered and all that palaver. This is going to be exactly the opposite. This is going to be hazy. it's going to be cloudy. It's going to have all the sediment in and everything like that. Because nowadays, that's what actual craft beer brewers do. Craft beers have all that in. It is quite cold. It's been in the fridge. I've had it out of the fridge about 10 minutes or so. So let's get it out into the glass and get the appearance on this jute. If I remember rightly, I have had this once on keg in the hopping Wakefield. And they were sort of saying to me, you know, this is our new craft beer range, this, that and the other. And I wasn't overly in love with it. But then again, I wasn't really a hoppy beer drinker then. So my tastes have changed somewhat. Probably about 6 or 7 years ago, something like that. So, got my little Diddy craft beer glass that I got as part of a pack for Christmas. It's usually perfect for 330ml cans. Although saying that, this has got a humongous head on it. Humongous head on it. Look at that, what a whopper. But if we have a look at the beer so far, see what I mean? It's very cloudy, very hazy, which is sort of what it advertises to be. It's almost the colour of the can. Oh no, that head's just shocking. Right, I'll let that calm down a second. There are other salt beers you can get in supermarkets as well. They did have another one. Now, I can't remember for the life of me. I think it was Tesco. It was either Tesco or Morrison's. 330ml can again. A blue one called Crash, which was an American Pale Ale. I think that was stronger than this. It may have been 4.8, coming on 5%, something like that. They were doing that in 4 packs as well. I didn't see that in Tesco, so maybe it was Morrison's. I know it was one or the other, because I go to Morrison's a lot more regularly than I go to Tesco. And I remember that, I tried that, and it was very nice. Okay, so it's sort of, it hasn't really calmed down, but I'm just trying to give it a whirl. See if you can see what it does in the glass. It's got a very good body to it. Right, I'm just going to sup off some of this froth, so just bear with me a second. Oh, that's pure piff, that is. Oh. Hoping the beer don't taste like that. Trying to pour some more without getting all head, and no. Okay, so we've sort of got it half and half in the glass. So yeah, it's gonna sort of look like that. It's cloudy, it's unfiltered, it's hazy, cloudy, whichever way you want to call it. It's very sort of New England IPA looking. Now I am going to be putting some videos up on the channel of New England IPAs, where that's come about, what the idea behind a New England IPA is, but this is very much sort of look of the New England IPA. Well, it's cloudy, so not all IPAs that are cloudy are New England IPAs, but this certainly looks it in the appearance. I really want to get my nose in there, give it a see what I can sniff, but I want to get past the head, so give me 1 second. That went up my nose. See if we can get a bit more of the beer in. Trying not to get just head. There we go. Hey presto. I'm trying to see now I've got all the beer in if there's any like sediment floating around, but to be honest I can't see it. Probably guessing that there probably is, because it's all been left in there because it's so cloudy and whatnot. Right, let's go ahead and get the old new schnozzle in there. We're going to give it a whiff, see what we can sniff. I'm getting when I got initial taste of the froth, it was really pungent, bitter grapefruit. So I'm getting that. I'm getting juicy fruits though, which I'd sort of expect from this kind of beer. Grapefruit, bit of limey, lemony, citrus, tad sweet citrus. Wouldn't necessarily say mango, but maybe a bit of pineapple. Swirl it around in the glass so you can sort of see. The head's sort of going now, thank God. Yeah, it's sort of holding it well. It laces really well around the glass. Right, so yeah, it's definitely a bit piney in there as well. That's probably the pineapple, a bit piney. Right, I'm going to give it a whirl, get it down the gullet, so bottoms up and down the old hatchet. Swirl it around a bit more now. Look at that. Look at that. Now you can see it working. Alright. Oh, cracking. Cracking looking beer. For those that get excited about beer. It's not as pungent as the white rat I just had, nowhere near. It's fruity, but it's quite mellow. Don't really taste much malt going on. I can taste some hops, and I can taste the head, the foamy head had the bitter grapefruit on it, and that's there, but then it disappears very quickly. There's a bit of a fruitiness in the middle, but it's not that strong compared to some of the beers that I've had. But then again, it's a Session IPA, it's 4.2%. Excuse me, would you expect it to be? It's very gassy. I think that's because I had two big mouthfuls of that head and it nearly went up my nose, so I think that's where the gas and up's coming from, because it's not fizzy. It's quite pleasant. The thing I tend to find, and I don't know if I'm alone on this, so if there's anyone else out there watching that does like the craft beers or any other beer reviewers, feel free to follow me. I'm new to the game, I don't work in the industry, I don't claim to be an expert, I just like good beer. But I tend to find with some of the craft beers, I don't tend to taste them until I get about halfway down them. I don't know why that is. I get a pint of more traditional beer, if you like, best bitter, well not best bitter, but you know, like a West Coast IPA or something like that, and it's like boom. Whereas with these, I can taste the flavours, but it's very mellow compared to the white rat I just had. Maybe I should have had this before the white rat, but the white rat was lower in ABV, so I wanted to go by strength. Well, I'm getting a lot more of the fruit. See, now I've got halfway down it. Oh, that's really coming through the fruitiness now. This is what I mean. This is what I found with craft beer. Oh, that's really... Why's it taken that long to get to that? Oh, that's amazing. That's really now like a tropical fruit bowl. Pineapple, mango, grapefruit, lemony, probably less of the lime now. Oh, that smells so much better, but I'm halfway down it. Taste is still there, but it's reserved. It's reserved. It's not horrible beer, don't get me wrong, but it hasn't wowed me. Which is pretty much what I felt when I had it on keg all those years ago. So, standing on the shoulder of giants, some very small writing there, I think, about the history of Salt Beer Factory. Does it tell me anything about the actual beer itself? I mean, look at that, that is small writing, and my eyes are good. My ears are probably terrible from years of DJing, but my eyes are pretty good. I think it's sort of telling you the Salt Beer Factory there, which said it used to be the site of the hop in Saltaire. I think it was an old factory, whether it was a mill or something. It's very much an industrial town, Saltaire. it was a dry town as well. They never used to have any pubs or bars. Now they've got Salt Beer Factory and they've got Salt Brewery. Both fantastic beer making companies. This though, has it been spoilt by having the white rat first? I mean, the smell's coming through tremendous. That smells absolutely divine now I've got halfway down it. But it's not awful, it's not bad, and it might have been better if I'd have had that first rather than the white rat, because the white rat was really quite bitter and clinging to your side of your tongue. Maybe I should have had a glass of soda water or something to air my mouth out first, I don't know, but I'll drink that very quick. It's only a diddy can though. See, now I'm getting it. Now I'm getting the bitterness coming through. It took me to the end. Good, we've got a 4-pack. I need another can of this to taste it. Taste really coming through now. I don't know why that is with craft beers. Comes through either halfway through or at the end. I'm actually enjoying that beer now. I've got to the end of it. Is that an idea to have more? I don't know. I'll give it about a there. It's not awful, but it's not. Would I buy it again? I mean, I know I've got it in a 4-pack. Just short of a thumbs up from me. It's got all the right things in the right places aroma wise. Just that little bit short on the taste, but then am I expecting too much from the 4.2%? I don't know. Beer's an individual thing, isn't it? Everyone's got individual tastes. Some people might love this. It's not a bad beer. Now I'm getting the taste of it at the bottom of the bloody glass. I'll stick with that judgment, and I'll sort of agree with when I first had this on keg, and the bartender, the geezer behind the bar, was raving about it, and I was like, oh yeah, it's alright, and I just thought, now I'm a bit more into that beer, but there's better. But then I'm thinking juicy and hazy, I'm thinking more like your New England IPAs or your New England Session IPAs, which probably wouldn't be as low ABV as 4.2%. So maybe it's a decent introduction into juicy, hazy craft beers. But I've tasted better from other places. I've tasted better from Salt, actually. I'm going to leave it there. Salt Jute, I don't know if it's going to be discontinued. It is part of their core range. Check out saltbeerfactory.co.uk. I believe is their website. Yeah, saltbeerfactory.co.uk. Right then, I've got one more actually from Ossett to do. Ciao for now, people.